Hey homies, welcome back. It's Christmas card day. I've got a really pretty little background die. We've got some stamps and dies from Hero Arts, and we're going to use a little glitter. Let's get going. First things first, I'm going to run this cover plate die through with some nice tan cardstock. Using a white top fold card base, and I'm just going to put this right on the front of the card. And I have a piece of the same paper cut to go on the inside. I'm going to trim it down a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of the fold. I cut this inside piece down to 5 1/4 by 4, because you know my motto, no naked insides. So we'll glue this down. Again, bear glue to the rescue. How's everybody doing? We're doing pretty good. Florida's warming back up. I think the freeze is over. Hopefully I have some plants that will recover. I'm not so sure. We had a new grandbaby last week. Everett was born on Friday the 13th. Now keep in mind these monthly cards, I do try to make them relatively quick and simple, because that way if you like one, it's easy to mass produce. Now for our sentiment on the front, we're going to use the Merry die and then stamp Christmas. But I'm going to cut this die out of glitter paper. And then I'm going to cut it again out of the this same tan paper like 3 times so I can stack it. All of these cut. I'm going to set them off to the side for now. Now to stamp this image, I'm going to stamp on some mixed media paper. And we're going to use archival coffee because I want this to be kind of like worn and vintagey almost. And we're going to watercolor, just really light wash of color. It's just going to be kind of a soft image if it turns out the way I hope it's going to turn out. Let's see, it's just wide enough to go on there. And then we're going to use the die to die cut it. And then I'm actually going to do another one of just the main flower and die cut it so we can pop it. There we go. Now I'm going to ink this up again and stamp off. And just do a very light impression inside the card. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so we've got a little bit of watercolor paint, some water, and we're just gonna do real quick, very simple, very cute paint on this. I'm reworking this palette, so it's a little crazy right now. And we're just gonna, like I said, very quick and simple. I'm going for a worn vintage kind of look. And if my ink runs a little bit, I'm actually okay with that too. Actually, one of my favorite cards ever was a large Tim Holtz floral stamp from a year or two ago that when I went to watercolor it, I had used Jet Black Archival, and I had hit it with a heat gun. I waited like 15 minutes, and don't you know, the ink started running on it anyway, but it looked so stinking cool. I did not throw that out. I used that image. I loved it. Quick, simple, cute. Watercolor. And this is that mixed media paper from scrapbook.com. Love this stuff. Because if I don't want the texture of watercolor, but I still need it to be able to take some water and not fight with me, this is the way to go. Oh, my husband is preparing to take his real estate licensing exam next month. He's been kind of putting it off because he's a little nervous and stuff, and he really doesn't do well with change, and I'm the opposite. I like all the change, so poor guy's had to adapt a little. I actually have my very first real estate deal going right now. I'm on the buyer side, and it's been a learning experience, but I'm very fortunate that I have a really good mentor, and she's really helped me walk through this and keep my head on straight and all that stuff. So I actually looked at her. We met up this morning and I said, you know, I'm almost half tempted to just go work at SeaWorld instead. And she says, well, I can't blame you. Because this, you know, like I said, it's my first deal and it happened very, very quickly. So, you know, it's been a little overwhelming, but I'm excited. Okay, we get our little ones here. Look at these little ones. They're so cute. Again, just quick, simple, kind of messy. I don't even know why I'm bothering to do that because that's going to be covered up. Oh, goodness. Oh, see, it's story time, this video, isn't it? Did my first ever Pilates class today. That was kind of awesome. And I had a talk with the instructor afterwards, you know. I said, listen, I've had a stroke. My left leg is, I don't know if you've noticed, but it can be pretty shaky. And I said, I kind of wanted to try this to see if I can eventually get it to behave a little better and stretch out all the way. Because the only time I get it to like completely stretch out straight is in the pool. And she was like, oh, yeah. She says, we'll get you there. So kind of excited. It's really nice. It's like, she's very encouraging and, you know, you're feeling strong, you're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But it's also like relaxing at the same time. I've tried yoga. I didn't really care for yoga, but the Pilates I enjoy. Get you all stretched out and stuff, and that's kind of nice. There we go. Pretty, pretty. Pretty, pretty. It's so pretty. Let's see. Now what do we need? We need a little green. Daniel Smith. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Undersea green. This is actually part of my beach palette. I'm redoing my palettes. And obviously they're not done yet. So I was like, oh, well, these colors actually go really well with that tan cardstock layer. So let's use them. There we go. Little undersea green for your viewing pleasure. Maybe we'll go ahead and do that sepia in the smaller branches there. And then we need a little green in our branch over here, pine branch. And one thing you could do too, if you are pickier than I am, and you want your colors to stay within certain spots, you could always heat emboss your image. But I kind of like them to run together, especially if I'm doing something that I feel like wants to be a little, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. I guess less serious, maybe. Messier kind of look. That is one thing I really like about watercolors. You can get a quite messy look, and that makes me happy. So yeah, my husband and I, we've got a lot of new things going on this year. Had to tell my bestie that we weren't doing a lot of traveling this year because we have some major home repairs that need to be done. So we are, other than pretty much the stuff we already have planned, we're pretty much staying home. We have a cruise in April that we booked last year. And we're not taking, they're going with us. We're taking my in-laws. It's their first cruise. So I got all the things going. I got t-shirts. I got door decorations for their door. I've got all of it. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then we decided for Christmas this year, instead of exchanging gifts, because, you know, we kind of have reached that point in life where we're old, and I don't know, if we want something and we feel like we can afford it, you know, you just buy it. So we decided we would like to do a Christmas cruise, because I had told them last year, I said, you know, next year I'd really like to do either a Halloween or a Christmas cruise. I want to do a Halloween cruise in the worst way. And so we talked about it, and we talked to my bestie and her husband about it, because we do like to travel together. So we decided on a Christmas cruise. So we're going to book that one while we're on our April cruise, because, you know, if you book while you're on board, you get discounts and stuff. So, I mean, that's going to be pretty much it for travel for this year, because, like I said, we got some major home repairs that need to be done. And, you know, it cost me $80 a night to send the kids to their favorite establishment. So, yeah. She's always sending me stuff. Hey, you want to go here? I'm like, I keep telling you. I'm going to do a little gold, I think, in those centers. These shimmer colors that I have here all came from a seller on Etsy who says she hand makes them and hand pours them and stuff. I'm always skeptical when people say that, but I mean, they're beautiful. Add a little gold here and there, because it's so pretty. Let's add a little gold over here. So when this die cuts, it's not going to have a white background because I did all this teal green in the back. So it's going to be really pretty. Do a little splattery splatter with that gold because it's so pretty. So there we go, just a little bit of color. So we're going to let all this dry and die cut this out. And I think while it's drying, I will go ahead and glue those Marys together, and I shall return. How pretty that turned out. So now we've got to get these cut. And this is where I struggle, is lining stuff up. I'm not a good liner-upper. Look how gorgeous those are. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, all the shimmer. I want to position this just in the middle. But I'm going to put some threads behind it. So I've got a little brown and a little gold. I just have some fun foam here. And just center-ish on the card. We're going to take this sweetie, and we're going to offset it and pop it up as well. We're going to put our Mary right about there. And we'll just trim our threads here. Okay, so we're going to stamp Christmas on the same tan paper as the card front and with the archival coffee. And then we're going to do our May Your Days Be Merry and Bright on, oh, glitter, on the inside. I'm going to edge this Christmas with a little brown, the same brown that we've stamped with. They look relatively straightish. Add a few of my favorite little embellishments. These are the melted icicle confetti from Trinity, and I'm just going to add a few so we can extend the sparkle. And last but not least, I'm going to put some gold stickles in the center of my big poinsettia. And there's our finished card. Isn't that pretty? Alrighty friends, here's our finished Christmas card for the month of February 2026. I know this looks kind of complicated, but it was super simple. I used this Coverplate die. This is from Pink Fresh in 2022. Then we've got 2 sets from Hero Arts. I love this. I've gotten so much use out of both of these. They're incredible. Well worth it if you can still find them out there. We've got some bling from Trinity. Melted Icicle Confetti Mix Box. Gold stickles, of course. So a really simple card to mass produce. Whatever Coverplate die you like. Cut a bunch of those one day. Stamp a bunch of these one day. Paint them another day. Really simple to assembly line this. You don't have to use all the pop dots and stuff if you don't want, but I do like to mention I used Fun Foam because Fun Foam is pretty economical to use. And then on the inside, may your days be merry and bright. And I stamped off and then stamped this on here so it was a lighter, you know, kind of worn image. So there you have it. February 2026. Y'all have a lovely day. Remember, be excellent to each other and go make something. Bye-bye.